ॐ गणपतये नमो नमः। सिद्धिविनायक नमो नमः। अष्टविनायक नमो नमः। गणपति बाप्पा मोरया।
Sone Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Jananda, Jai Swaminarayan, Sai Ram, and a good morning to you all. Om Shanti, Daksha Didi.
Shanti, good morning.
Om Om Bhurvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimai Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om Bhurvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimai Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om Bhurvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimai Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Once again, a very warm welcome from Women to Women. Before I pass on to Daksha Didi, I'd like to read this little piece. For when we need help easing our hands. Dear God, as I lay me down to sleep, relax the tension of my body, calm the restlessness of my mind, still the thoughts which worry and perplex me. Help me to rest myself and all my problems in your strong and loving arms. Let your spirit speak to my mind and my heart while I am asleep, so that when I wake up in the morning, I may find that I have received in the night time light for my way, strength for my task, peace for my worries, forgiveness for my sins. Grant me sleep tonight, and tomorrow power will live. It's such a beautiful piece. And it just occurred to me, why are we doing meditation? This answers our what I just read. Well, why are we doing meditation? And also, I feel very strongly that meditation is needed for every mind to control yourself, relax, get rid of the anxiety, angerness. It helps everyone. And I'm sure Daksha Didi agrees with me and tells you all. The other thing I mentioned last week, we do have 200 in our group. And last week, Daksha Didi was talking to me about getting a transcriber. And two, three different transcriber for Gujarati and Hindi for people who do not understand. And like I said, we got 200 people, but not 200 are attending. So it's not worth my while because we need to get onto a webinar. Zoom does not have facilities for transcriber. And if 200 people attend my seminar every Sunday morning, then I'm willing to do webinar for you all. And you can have all the transcribers who wants different language. But at the moment, I do apologize that we cannot do that. So I'm going to request a special request to Daksha Didi. Can we have it in English so everybody can understand? Thank you very much again. Platform is yours, Daksha Didi.
Shanti, very good morning to everybody, and greetings of peace. We've been meeting for last couple of weeks, so we looked at different themes every Sunday. So the ones that we covered so far was about the waste thoughts, and especially on the angle of, can you hear me okay?
You're low. Can you make it louder, please?
Okay. Okay, I hope you can hear me better now.
Okay.
So we've been looking at various themes, like the waste thoughts, especially in the lines of no blame and no shame. And then last week we looked at not taking sorrow. And I will speak a bit in Gujarati, but all of that I would have spoken in English, but just my Gujarati friends, which I see probably 80 or 90% of the group. So it would be unfair if I just speak in English. So we looked at not taking sorrow. And this morning we're going to be looking at not giving sorrow. Like that? So dukh nahi lena. वो लास्ट टाइम हमने बातें की, कई बातें निकली, और आज हम देखेंगे दुख कैसे नहीं देना है. दुख આપણે કેવી રીતના આપી દઈએ છીએ. So just to begin with, why is it important that we should not be giving sorrow? The main thing is that so often we are aware that when we give sorrow, we're going to receive sorrow at some point. But if we have clear understanding that actually the ones who give sorrow are the ones who are actually always living with sorrow. જે દુઃખ આપે છે એને હંમેશા દુઃખ થાય છે, એમ નહીં કે અંતમાં કશે દુઃખ થશે આપણને. So if this matter, if this awareness is very clear to us, then what happens is that we will not give sorrow. And secondly, if all of us who joined this group or some way, one way or the other, spiritually inclined. So we understand that God, that's supreme. For that God we say, Dukha Harata Sukha Karta, the giver of happiness and the remover of sorrow. So as children of God, what should our aim be? What should our awareness be? What should our kartavya be? Is to give happiness and not sorrow. And so often we're not necessarily giving sorrow intentionally, but there are certain things. I mean, this is the maximum I can do in terms of volume. I'm not sure. Just give me one more second.
I think if you all put your volume up, it will be better.
Yeah, I'm in a different setting today, so this is the best I can do.
Okay,
Um,
thank you.
yeah. So I actually even have got a mic today. Other times I didn't have a mic, so I'm very surprised. But I'll try and raise my voice as much as I can, but it doesn't come naturally to me. So we were looking at why, as God's children, our aim, our kartavya, our action should be about giving happiness and not sorrow. Certainly not taking sorrow, but also not giving sorrow. Both things we have to be aware of. And so, what are the different forms that we're able to give sorrow, or we do give sorrow? As most of you here are in a female body, so often we do so much kind of selflessly to begin with. But then at some point we realize that it's now time to, to say something. And so often we haven't said those things in a good time. And then suddenly there's an outburst. And then we tend to then hurt somebody because they're surprised as to what's happening. And it's like, "Kitna badlai gaya?" Because for so long, આપણે કશું કીધું નહીં. And suddenly આપણને એમ થાય કે હવે તો મારે કહેવું જ પડશે. So it is important that we speak when there is a need and not kind of build up and then lash out at a wrong time. So sometimes even the things that we are sharing is very positive or it is very true, but the tone that we may use and the time that we may use to share those things may be not so right. Yeah. So sometimes it's like સમય અને આપણે માન દેવો પડે છે. કારણ કે વાત ભલે સાચી બી હોય, પણ અગર ગલત સમય પર આપણે બતાવીએ છીએ તો આપણે જોઈએ છીએ કે એનું રિઝલ્ટ સારું નથી હોતું. સંબંધોમાં દૂરી આવી જાય છે, ટકરાવ આવી જાય છે. And this is why, there's this beautiful saying that I always like, that if I had to choose between being right or kind, let me choose kindness, then I know I'll be right. ઘણીવાર આપણે રાઈટ હોવાને કારણે આપણે વસ્તુને સિદ્ધ કરવા માંગીએ છીએ. અને સિદ્ધ કરતા કરતા આપણી રાઈટ તો આપણે હોઈએ છીએ, પણ સંબંધોમાં દુઃખ આવી જાય છે. So we hurt our relatives, we hurt our friends by saying the right things, but at the wrong time. Or sometimes saying the right things, but with the wrong tone. And so this is subtly that we have to be aware of. In our morning class this morning, just still going on, but some of the essence of what we've been studying this morning is that, the human birth that we've all received, we call it like it's worth like diamonds. Heere tulye hota hai. But what are we doing in order to become that? Yeah? So if we are hurting somebody, if we are making somebody sad, and sometimes, our words that we are using may actually harm so much the other person that throughout the lifetime they will not forget. Like, give you an example, even just in your family. You have 2 children, 4 children, and if you favor one more than the other, and if you're always putting the other one down or somebody down, then lifelong they remember that my parents think this for me, but for my brother or sister, they're thinking this. જ્યારે આપણે આપણા છોકરાઓની વચ્ચે ઘણીવાર અંજાણ્યામાં ભલે એક સ્લો હોય ને એક ફાસ્ટ હોય તો કે આ તો બહુ સ્લો છે. But even those little things we've said, though it is true, but we don't know the damage that is done. And this is why we have to be very, very careful. Because all of us in some way become a guardian, even if we don't have parents, but we may have colleagues that we're working with, we may have friends, neighbors who look up onto us. And so it is very important that all the words that we use should be that of respect, of something that we are encouraging them. And say by any chance, if you have used words that are not so good in past, seek forgiveness. Yeah. તમારાથી કોઈ ભૂલ બી થઈ ગઈ, કંઈ કહેવાઈ ગયું કોઈને, તો તમે માફી માંગી લો. કારણ કે આપણે જે એકબીજા માટે શબ્દો વાપરીએ ને, એ પ્યારના, એ રિસ્પેક્ટના હોવું જોઈએ. એને ઉમંગ ઉત્સાહ મળે સામેવાળાને, એવા હોવા જોઈએ. એનું રિસ્પેક્ટ વધે, એવા હોવા જોઈએ. Because it's not that for other person only, but even for our own benefit. Because one of the things that was being discussed in our morning class today, which was also, as I was churning on this topic, the thoughts were coming. And I seen a sister was talking about one of our previous heads who passed away, Dadi Prakashmani. Sorry, just a sec. Is that better? Yeah, maybe it's the mic that was, instead of helping, was not helping. So we was talking about Dadi Prakashmani, who was the head of our organization for many years after our founding father left the body in 1969. And she used to always say that, what is it that when I leave my body, what do I want? Is I should leave my body having taken everybody's blessings. So, we want to understand that, say, what am I doing in my life? That am I receiving people's blessings, or am I not receiving people's blessings? So sometimes being, using sharp words, using even harsh words, or manipulating. This is another way of giving sorrow. We manipulate things. Like say in your relationship with your son and daughter-in-law. I'm just giving you a hypothetical example, so nothing targeted to anybody personally, but just for us to understand things better. So say between son and the daughter-in-law, and you say something in front of the son, but behind the son, you're saying something else. So that is kind of manipulation. So am I doing that in any given scenario of relationships, then I need to step back and change. Because it's not that I'm harming them only, but I'm also harming myself. And who would want to harm ourselves? કોઈ પાગલ જ હશે ને જે ખુદ પણ પોતાના માટે નુકસાન કરે. And this is why it is important that we don't do that. Yeah? So not to harm myself. So these are the things that, some of the things that were coming to my mind as I was thinking of the various ways we can give sorrow. One of the other reasons is like jealousy, often lack of self-respect. Actually, the underlying point is that there is lack of self-respect. Lack of self-respect is the main cause of why we do wrong actions. So the more we kind of spiritually incline our journey, then we will see that God sees us with such a beautiful vision. And that's the vision that I need to look for myself. I need to have for myself. Because if that is not there, then what happens? Then we tend to make mistakes. We tend to harm others. And in doing that, we also harm ourselves. And I like this point about, taking blessings from everybody. બધાની દુઆ લઈને જઈએ આપણે. So સમજો આજે મારો લાસ્ટ દિવસ હોય, આજે મારે શરીર છોડવાનો સમય હોય, તો લોકો શું કહેશે?
લોકો મારા માટે એમ કહેશે કે હા હવે છુટકારો મળશે, ગયા, શાંતિ થઈ જીવનમાં. Yeah, it would be like, નહીં, એવી આત્મા એ ફરીથી આપણા જીવનમાં આવવું જોઈએ. So it's a bit like this world, this life is like a stage. And we are actors on this stage. And considering that this is my last day, it is almost like a finale of a drama. And at the end of the drama, what do you want people to say? Clap and say once more? Or, clap and say, oh, fine, end of the scene. It was so boring. It was so frightening. It was so sad. So what do you want people to say about you if this is your last day? If this was your last moment, even rather. So this is what we have to be aware, that throughout the life, one of the teachings that our seniors used to give, that always consider this to be your last moment. So in a way, you do all the good karma you want to do, like when there's only little time left. A lot of the wise people, what do? They'll do more charity, they'll call their friends, they'll ask for forgiveness, they'll, any financial debts, they will settle. So they do all the good karmas. These are the wise people. So if we lead like every day as a last day or every moment as a last moment, then there won't be repercussions that we will carry forward. And of course, we'll touch upon karma on some other day, but it's because it's a deep subject in itself and we could take a few sessions on that. But as I was underlining, that really it's time that we free ourselves from taking sorrow and giving sorrow. Because, like what I was hearing a little bit about before when I joined, and you were chatting amongst yourselves, talking about going for outings, having fun. That's what we want as human beings, to be happy. And those things are important. But real happiness will also come once we do all those things. The real happiness is, what is the level of cleanliness in my thinking, in my interactions, in my feelings, in my bhavana for each other? Because if there isn't that level of cleanliness, then we find that accidents happen. Accidents will happen. We don't intend to, and then so often we have to repay the harm that is done. We spend so much time doing that. So there is regrets, and then in order to repair the regrets, so much time is going. ઘણીવાર આપણાથી એવું કહેવાઈ ગયું, બોલાઈ ગયું, કરાઈ ગયું. પછી લોકોનું દિલ જીતવા માટે, રીતે સંબંધ જીતવા માટે આપણે બહુ મહેનત પડે છે. The other thing, it's like, its relationships are like thread. એકવાર તૂટી ગયો તો આપણે જોડી તો શકશું, પણ હંમેશા એમાં ગાંઠ રહી જાય છે, એવું કહેવામાં આવે છે. અને પણ એ જ દોરીને આપણે દોરી ઉપર દોરી નાખીને આપણે એને જાડી રોપ બનાવી દઈએ છીએ તો એને તૂટવાનું મુશ્કેલ છે. So a little thread, like, that's what we say for relationships. You breaks easily, and you can even join it together, but there's always this knot reminding you the reason why there is a knot. But let's collectively be like one thread on top of another become like a wrist, like a thick rope. So when you want to cut a little thread, it's not difficult. When cutting a rope, it takes time. And this is why the moment we find that there is certain personality traits, in Hindi, Gujarati, we call it the sanskar. આપણામાં કોઈ એવા સંસ્કાર છે તો એને આપણે તરત જ કાપીએ, કારણ કે જ્યારે આદત એક સંસ્કારના રૂપમાં બની જાય છે ને તો પછી એને તોડવું મુશ્કેલ થાય છે. અને આપણે કહીએ ને કે ભાઈ શું કે ભાઈ મોટી ઉંમર થઈ જાય, my grandmother used to say કે ભાઈ કાચા પાયે ઘોડો ન ચડે. If any of you understand that, it's like when you get to an old age, then to change yourselves is so difficult. And that's why it's better that I do that right away. So when habit becomes a personality trait, a sanskar, then it is difficult to let go. So it's like learning to, just as wherever you need to, right at the stage of being a bird or something, you have to cut there. So these are a few thoughts I had. It's like, why do we want to lead our lives giving sorrow? When we can all give happiness, why not make that as choice? And there's benefit for the world. Like say, historically, different peoples are remembered. See, history or her story. We remember people who did a lot of damage to a place or a nation or to the world. But we also remember the people who brought a lot of happiness to the world. So tomorrow, if somebody were to tell my story, and what would they be saying? That this soul, no matter how many test papers were there, no matter how many challenges were there, but they were always giving happiness. They were always trying to, join together, get people coming together and not separating them. And for some people, remember that they used to always do divide and rule. Na ani વાત આને ને આની વાત ને આને અને બધામાં મતભેદ કરાવી, પણ એ મતભેદમાં આપણું શું સારું થયું? Yeah. So if I understand, તો ચલો થોડી ખુશી થાય કે ભાઈ મને માન મળ્યો, મને બધાએ સારા ગણ્યા, પણ really કંઈ સારું થયું? So when we do things that is going to disunify people, at the end of the day, it is I who am going to suffer. And that's what we need to be aware of. So we're now going to do as the system, and I hope you like this pattern. But if you want any change, do let us know. That we'll share a few things, and we'll do a meditation, and we'll open up for Q&A and more comments. So I'm going to now share a few thoughts. Just sit back, relaxed. Preferably with your eyes open. You can use a point in front of you to meditate, or you can use the poster behind me as your point of focus, or you could keep something in front of you to focus. So breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. So look within. Being aware of myself as Atma, as soul. With all honesty, in presence of God, through my remembrance. With all honesty. As God knows. So there's no hiding. The presence of God is not there to punish me, but to guide me to do good actions, to rectify the ones that were not so good. I can pay off the harm that may have been caused by me. And also accumulate for future. ભગવાનની હાજરીમાં એકદમ ઓનેસ્ટીથી ભગવાન આપણને મદદ કરવા બેઠા છે. દંડ દેવા નહીં. કારણ કે આપણે બતાવીએ કે નહીં બતાવીએ, ભગવાન જાણે છે. અને જેટલું આપણે દિલથી બતાવીએ આપણે light message કરશું. By sharing, there is lightness. So let's honestly check which are maybe 2 or 3 things, if not more, the way I may be hurting others. I may be causing them harm. Let me catch those patterns that have become very strong. You want to note down, you may note down, or you may mentally note down. Again, this is not done with any kind of harshness or as punishment, but with a lot of love as I'm cleansing myself. I hold on to God's hand through my thoughts. Say to myself, I won't allow this habit of mine, my thought pattern, to be so damaging. I let go. I am becoming freer, lighter. Allowing my beautiful personality to emerge. I'm God's child. My actions need to match that awareness. My thinking needs to match that awareness. Or that I don't say anything when I see something wrong. I tell myself now, be more aware to find the right time, right tone, and the right method to communicate that. Tell myself, I will be very just in my interactions. And not favor one more than the other. બધા માટે ન્યાય કરીશ. બધાને સમદૃષ્ટિથી જોઈશ. Say, for instance, there's a situation between my son and daughter-in-law. If my son is in the wrong, I take the courage to tell him and support the daughter-in-law. Also the wisdom arises that so often people have to learn to sort their own karma. We can only suggest and guide. We can't interfere, even if they are our close relatives. So now take this firm and determined thought that all along now, all I want to do is share happiness with others. I feel so light. When you're ready, you can bring back your awareness to where you are. If you have any questions or comment you'd like to make, we'll take that for the next few minutes.
Thank you, Daksha Didi. If anybody's got questions, raise your hand so I can unmute you. Seems nobody's got questions.
So,
Shall I say?
okay.
Yeah. Do you know when you're trying to concentrate and other thoughts comes in your mind, what can you do? It makes me that, oh, go away, but keep on coming. What can I do for that?
Any other questions? I can take a couple of questions together.
There's one on the chat. What can one do when one gets negative thoughts?
It's the same question. Yeah.
What can one do if the opposite person has always got negative thoughts? Although you're positive, the other person has got negative thoughts.
Forgive them.
So,
મારો ક્વેશ્ચન એ છે દક્ષાબેન કે કોઈ પણ પરિસ્થિતિમાં શાંત અને તટસ્થ રહેવા માટે શું કરવું જોઈએ?
so I think, okay, Ashwin, are you wanting to say something?
બોલો
Okay.
જયશ્રીબેન.
ના મને તો ઊંઘ આવવા માંડી હતી બેઠા બેઠા.
હવે મેડિટેશનમાં
So meditation helps people to fall asleep as well. But,
Okay.
shouldn't try and sleep in meditation, but the more we do meditation, then our sleep improves. I know a couple of times ago when you joined in your role, we're talking a lot about doing this, that for getting good sleep, but try doing some meditation as well. And, you know,
દક્ષા દીદી બેન જયા બોલું છું. મેં તમારી પાસે પહેલા પોસે કર્યો છે. તમે પોઝિટિવ ને પોઝિટિવ રહ્યો, તમે બધું ફાઇન જ કરતા રહ્યો, તો તમે કેમ પોતે વધારે સફળ થયા રાખો? કારણ કે મારા ગઈકાલે નેબર આવ્યા હતા, એને પણ મને સેમ ક્વેશ્ચન કર્યો, આપણે બધું સારું 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 જ કરીએ છીએ તો હું કેમ આટલી સફળ થાઉં છું? મેં કીધું આપણા કરમ પાણી કે કેવી રીતે કરમ બંધાય છે? મેં કીધું I'll find out from Daksha.
Okay, so what we will do is the whole, as I mentioned earlier, that the whole lesson on karma is we could do a few sessions, just like on sorrow, we've done a couple of sessions.
Yeah, okay.
So we can go more deeper into that. But in essence, first, how do I stop my waste thoughts? So maybe you want to mute everyone else, Panna, because
I will.
often, people are getting out.
Unmute yourself, please.
Yeah. So how does one get rid of waste thoughts? We have to ask ourselves that, is that my natural nature? No. So we are not happy having waste thoughts. So if this is not my natural nature, so it's like a wrong habit that I've acquired. જેમ આપણે કોઈ ખોટી લત લાગી ગઈ હોય તો આપણે એનાથી છૂટવાની કોશિશ કરીશું ને. So thinking negatively or having waste thoughts is also a wrong habit that we have acquired. That's not our natural nature. So we have to do everything we can to go back to our natural nature. And one of the easiest method is to remember what is my natural nature. Yeah, you know, say suppose you know, I may have been born in a very rich family, but then suddenly something happened and I choose to you know, be homeless or whatever. But then if I remember, no, I actually have a very good family, what would I do? Would I continue to be homeless? Would I continue to wander around, sleep roughly? No. I would make sure that I go back to my family. So similarly, we've moved away from our original nature. So we have to just very sweetly remind ourselves of our original nature. And for that, you need to remind yourself many times in the day till it becomes natural. You know, say suppose, you know, little exercise, apni heartni movement hoyi gayi che. So we do little, you know, doctor tamne kaise, physiotherapist kaise. કે તમારાથી ભલે કંઈ ન થતું હોય પણ તોય 20 વાર કરજો દિવસમાં. And then by doing that for 2-3 weeks, then you realize, oh, I can now do this. Yeah. So it's a bit like exercising when you lost any kind of mobility physically. The physiotherapist or doctor would advise you to do that. Secondly, it's just a matter of practice. And even if other people are not so positive around us, that's their problem, not mine. Yeah. So by, when I become negative because others around are negative, then it's like I'm giving them the remote control of my life. And they will play the channel they like, and the channels that I like will not be played. So it's a choice we have to make. જેમ કે ભાઈ આપણે જોઈએ કે ભાઈ અગરબત્તી છે, ફ્રેગ્રન્સ છે, ના આપણે અગરબત્તી જલાવે છે તો અગરબત્તી એમ થોડી કહી છે કે કેટલી બધી અહીંયા બદબુ છે, હું નહીં રોંગ નહીં. ઇનફેક્ટ અગરબત્તી જલાવીએ છીએ અને ખુશ્બુ આવી જાય છે. So it's a bit like that. So I'm kept in this situation, which I'm surrounded by negativity, is to spread positivity. Yeah. And as they continue to do their job, I need to continue to do my job. It's like, there's this story about a guru who was practicing meditation by the beach, and there were crabs that were crawling to the guru. And the followers, the Shishyas, said to the guru that, come, there's a crabs coming. Say, કે આવા દ્યો એને. એ એનું કામ કરશે, મારે મારું કામ કરવાનું છે. So people who want to spread negativity will spread negativity, but my job is to spread positivity. So it's the choice we have to make. So it's not a question of comparison. It's not a question of allowing them to control your life. Yeah. So we have to, and this, like they're saying that as things get stronger and much challenging, we get stronger as well. And just like, say for instance, for people say, well, we do so much good, but still wrong things happen to us. So just on an academic level, a little child in kindergarten, nursery, and then going through further lessons, their tests will be at that level. But when they come to university, the tests will be much higher, much more challenging. And if in our lives we are getting more challenges, it's because we are strong. That is the proof. When challenges no આવતી હોય, so we are still in the kindergarten stage. Yeah. But જેટલા આપણે spiritually inclined થશું, powerful થશું, વધારે challenges આવશે. So it's not something to be afraid of. It's something to be aware of, that these are coming to me so I can be an example for many others. But because God is with us, those challenges don't bother us. They don't even look like challenges. They become like a stepping stones to go further up and become a better person. Okay. Any other questions or comments? If not, we'll finish with some meditation. And talking about morning class, yeah. And so somebody was wanting to know about when somebody passes away. And then, in fact, yes, we do a lot. In fact, just Friday gone, we attended a funeral, me and my colleague. And we've been sustaining the family that are not necessarily regular students, but 1 or 2 members of their family are our regular, students and members. But they requested, and yes, we have been supporting, so we can do that, to get in touch. And in terms of our morning class, this happens, the basic requirement for that is to go through our meditation course, which we call the Saptahi course or the Raj Yoga course. And you can contact any of our local centers, and this is offered free to community service. Online, and in some places we've started doing it in person as well, and we do that in various languages, so you can have a choice of language that is more suitable for you. So besides various Indian languages, we also do it in Spanish, Portuguese, Tamil, French, German. So various languages. We have teachers who can give that. So just go to our website, brahmakumaris.org.uk, and see which is the local center close to you and contact them. And so we study every day. We don't just meditate every day, but we study spiritual information every day. And so today, one of the things that we were talking about was patience and good wishes for everyone. The theme today that was taken up in our study class, Hansani Visheshta Sumase. What are the specialities of a swan? मोती चुकते हैं ना, दूध पानी अलग करते हैं, तो राइट क्या है, रॉन्ग क्या है, वो अलग कर सकते हैं. So specialities of the swan. So this was our study class today. Okay, we'll finish with some meditation, and next Sunday, Sister Nidhi, my colleague who you met first day, she was helping me with the mics as well today. So she'll be taking a session. She speaks all the 3 languages as well. So sit back, relaxed. Taking your thoughts within. I am. Child of the ocean of happiness. Happiness and bliss. My innate nature. Think of supreme light, supreme soul, Paramatma, Param Jyoti. Was very proud of me. Today I have taken this determined thought. Be God's instrument. To reach out, share happiness. So through my thoughts, I share happiness throughout the world. I find myself so much lighter. I bring back my thoughts to where I am. And on a final note, one request, one practice. Whoever you meet, and even when there's nobody around you, keep smiling. And even the one who has challenged you, it's been a test paper for you. Give them a benefit of doubt before you completely rule them out from your life. कहीं बीजू ना करी सकिए, આપણે સ્માઇલ તો કરી શકીએ ને એકલા હોય તો બી કરજો, જાની સામે તો જરૂર કરજો, પણ એકલામાં પણ કરજો. And few of you want from this group to us to offer the Raj Yoga course. You can also speak to Pannavan and come back to us. We can arrange that in different languages so that we will organize that. It won't be through women to women group, or we can send you the details. Okay, so I hope I've taken all the questions. Yes, Sunita Ben, I always do share the essence, and this is why in the 3 sessions we've had so far, I've always mentioned that what we had in our morning class, so that all of you benefit. Turant Dan Mahapunya, you hear on one ear and then you share with others. So as I mentioned today was the specialities of being a swan. So inner cleanliness and outer cleanliness and what I choose. सामने कंकड़ भी है, मोती भी है, मुझे क्या लेना है. नेगेटिविटी भी है, पॉजिटिविटी भी है, मुझे क्या चूज करना है. ठीक है, शांति.
Om Shanti. एक मिनट. Om Shanti, Didi. Very beautifully done today. Thoroughly enjoyed it. What more can I say? But I think everybody enjoyed it, and some of them went in a trance today, which was nice. Today, well, tomorrow is Valentine's Day. We're celebrating today. Kalush Radio is going to do a special show tonight at 7 o'clock. So any link છે મૂકી events તો please જોડાઈ જજો એમાં. And we're going to have special singers again and enjoy them. So કાલે આપણે રાની જોવાની. So sit tonight with your hubbies or with your partners or with your family and watch the show today and enjoy the lovely music from our special singers. And then tomorrow, Zumba. Try and join in on time, 10 to 3. And it's a wonderful session again coming from Toronto. So you'll enjoy that as well. According to our body, she teaches us. It's not for the youngsters. And then Friday, we're not going to do any yoga because it's half term and half term for me as well. So Saturday, we're going to join in again for yoga and then proceed further. Thank you very much again for all the participants. And once again, Om Shanti Didi. We hope to see you next week again on time.
Shanti.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a lovely weekend.
Yes, all of you. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Have a lovely weekend. All take care.
Thank you, Daxa Didi. Very nice session. Thank you very much, Badaine. Thank you, Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you, Panna Ben. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Panna, and bye.
Pannaben, Daksha
Thank you
Ben.
all. Thank you.
Let me unmute myself. Hold on.
Thank you, Panna. Jai Shri Krishna, Badane.
Thank you, Jai Shri Krishna Badane. Thank you, Panna.
Thank you, Panaben. Thank you, Daksha Didi. Thank you, Shri Krishna Badane.
Daksha Ben, thank you, Panna, and thank you all of you who joined today. Thank you. Keep joining. Thank you.
Jai Shri Krishna Badane.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Next Sunday, na please vela આવજો. I was worried today. કે આજે બધા ક્યાં છે? Take care all. Catch you tonight.
Take care.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you, Panna Ben. First time who joined થઈ પણ બહુ મજા આવી. I was gone completely. It was lovely.
You can catch up with the other 2 sessions we had on YouTube.
No, I didn't. I will try and catch up again. Thank you very much.
The other 2. It's the way she explains is beautifully
Yeah,
done.
it
you know.
is, yeah.
So try and catch up. But
Oh,
try and join in tonight, please.
okay, thank you. Yeah, we will.
Thank you. Bolo.
Getting very hard for me to cut down.
So?
Meditation માં જવાનું hard લાગે છે cut down કરવા.
It will come eventually. It will come. But તમે શું કરો કે YouTube માંથી તમે રાતના સુવા જાઓ ને ત્યારે switch that on and listen to it and you'll gradually fall asleep like that.
હું on કરું છું.
So every રીતના આવી જશે. I know it is difficult in the beginning.
Practice કર્યું નથી ને હજી.
Yeah. Now પહેલી વાર it's difficult, but it will come eventually.
પ્રેક્ટિસ કરવાથી બધું થઈ જાય. પ્રેક્ટિસ કરીએ ને જેમ પ્રેક્ટિસ કરીએ એમ.
તમારા બધાના blessings.
Yes, absolutely. You'll gain that. તમે લો કામમાં હો આટલું બધું gain કર્યું તો I think you will gain this meditation as well.
Thank you. તમારા blessings.
ચાલો બધાને જય શ્રી કૃષ્ણ.
Jai Shri Krishna Badane.
જય શ્રી કૃષ્ણ. જય શ્રી કૃષ્ણ.